Hi everybody, and welcome to something that is going to be a little bit different from what we normally do. So obviously I've done Halo on the channel before. I've done playthroughs of Master Chief Collection, Halo 5, Halo Infinite, all that kind of thing on while we were doing the road to Halo Infinite. But there is the novels. Now I've read the vast majority of the novels, but there is a new one in the form of Halo Rubicon Protocol, I'm pretty sure it was called. And I'm going to be reading that. So, the idea of this little video series that we've got going on here is going to be that I'm going to go doing videos chapter by chapter, just talking about what's been going on in the chapter, a bit of a summary, predictions of what's going on, what are my thoughts on the story as we're going through it. And of course, if you guys want to read this alongside me, that'd be absolutely great. I obviously haven't read it yet, this is just the intro, but in a minute we'll do a cut and it'll be after I've read the first chapter, or a prologue. I don't know if they have a prologue in this novel, we'll find out. So yeah, so without further ado, I am going to start reading it. I've not really got much of an idea what it's about, other than it ties into Halo Infinite, and it has the Spartans from Halo Infinite, I'm pretty sure. That's pretty much it, so we'll see how this goes. I'll see you guys in a second. Right, and I have now read the chapter, so if you guys haven't, now's the last warning before we go into spoiler territory. Speaking of spoiler territory, obviously every single chapter I'm reading is going to be having loads of spoilers. This is going to be getting a lot of details going on, so if you don't know what's going on, seriously, read the chapter now. You've been warned properly. If you're watching beyond this point, then it's your own fault. Right, so I've written a lot of notes while I was reading that. Overall, pretty solid start to the novel. Literally not. A lot goes on, but it also doesn't. It's very detailed in its descriptions. You've got basically it's how some people were evacuating from the Infinity in the battle that you see at the start of Halo Infinite. And they crash onto the ring. That's the chapter in a nutshell. But you get a lot more details about the characters that's going on. You get a lot more details about the actual battle itself and how chaotic it was, because we didn't really get to see much of the battle in Halo Infinite. We mostly got to see Dreadnoughts fucked Infinity, and that's about it. Oh, sorry, we did get to see the Chief getting dragged around by Atriox and just, slapped into metal bars and shit, and then yeeted into space. But ship-wise, we didn't get to see that much. So, what we've picked up on so far, we got that exact date for it, the 12th of December 2559. So we now have an exact date for when the Halo Infinite intro starts, which is kind of nice. Yeah, the characters we got introduced to, some of them we've met before, some of them I think might be new, or we've seen them in Halo Infinite just as like the dead Spartans or whatever. And we've got Stone, who I'm pretty sure is one of the Spartans we found deceased in Halo Infinite. She's part of Fireteam Shadow, has a personal AI called Uko, I'm not entirely sure how I pronounce that yet. She uses Trailblazer class Gen 3 Mjolnir armor, and uses the M395 DMR. Well, it said M395 rifle, but DMR is just designated marksman rifle, so I guess it's just the DMR. Yeah. We also had Palmer in this as well. Palmer, of course, we have previously seen in lots of other Halo media. We've had her as a character in Halo 4 and Halo 5. She was also a playable character back in Halo Spartan Assault. And I think she even had her own comic series as well. I can't remember which one it was, but yeah. I know she was a central character in that back in her ODST days. We also have Murphy, which was a very unexpected return. Murphy we previously saw in Halo 4 Spartan Ops as a prisoner of the Covenant who was then released and stole a Covenant Phantom, which helped Fireteam Crimson escape, and then sort of acted as their personal pilot for Phantom and Pelicans for the rest of Spartan Ops, which was it was cool. I kind of liked his character in Spartan Ops. Didn't seem easily phased, and now he's back in this novel, which is cool. Like I said, very unexpected. Glad to see we're actually getting some more stuff with his character, hopefully, anyway. Also, I'll give details of what's going on with people as we're going through. But Murphy, from what we've got, he lost his Pelican due to the hangar being lost. Whether that means the hangar was destroyed, or whether it was just cut off by enemy forces, or rubble, or whatever, we have no idea. But it was lost apparently. So now Murphy is actually not, rather than piloting a Pelican, he's going to be piloting a lifeboat instead. We've got Nina Coven, who I believe is the leader of Fireteam Shadow, from what I've been able to glean so far. Obviously, I could be completely wrong about that. We can update this as we're going through. Seems like a very calm and collected individual so far. Even under fire, because they were under heavy banished fire, they were still pretty chill about giving out orders and just trying to keep on control of the situation, which is kind of what you need from a leader in these kind of situations. You don't really want someone who's going to be flailing and panicking and just throwing themselves out of an airlock or something. We also have Vedrana Makovic. Vedrana Makovic, I think is how you say it. I could be wrong again. I'm probably butchering names. I'm good at that. Haven't really got much on that character yet. All we really know is that they're a Spartan. That's all I can tell you about that character so far. I'm assuming we'll find out more about them as the novel goes on. But for actual other details of what's been going on in this chapter, we have got that Spartan Stone actually saved a bunch of people, preventing a collapse of one of the Infinity's corridors by the sound of it. Literally holding the damn thing up herself, causing considerable physical strain to her body as well as her armor. But she managed to save several Marines, including a medic, and get onto a lifeboat with them. She took charge, and they have evacuated the Infinity and are on their way down, well, going down to Zeta Halo. So, yeah, that's going to be a fun time for everyone involved. Commander Palmer has been giving tactical and evacuation orders. I think we heard some of that in the audio logs back in Halo Infinite, but I haven't actually listened to all of the audio logs yet, but I remember Palmer being involved in those, or at least mentioned in those. I don't think we actually heard her voice. I could be wrong, though. I plan to listen to all the audio logs again during the Halo Infinite Legendary playthrough I've got going on over on Twitch, so hopefully that'll be good. We also got that Murphy is in fact leading the second lifeboat, which I briefly talked about a minute ago. We've also got an identification for what these lifeboats are, because in Halo Infinite, while I was doing Legendary, I was like, damn, these things look very similar to the Halo Combat Evolved lifeboats. I wonder if they're if they are bumblebees, or if they're a different class of the bumblebee, or what. So I checked what the Halo Combat Evolved bumblebee lifeboats are, and they are SKT-9s, and the ones that are in this novel have been identified as SKT-29. So it looks like it's a bumblebee model, just a much later model of it, which makes a lot of sense. We've also got that Fireteam Shadow, which I've obviously mentioned already, with Stone and Coven, also has at least 2 other members in it, which we haven't been introduced to as far as I can tell so far. They were probably in Halo Infinite, so it's likely the other Spartans, because I think we found 4 dead Spartans in that, so I'm assuming one other member was going to be Griffin, and I can't remember the name of the other one. So maybe it'll be those. Could be wrong. We'll find out as we go through. We've also got Fireteam Taurus, who has been assisting in just holding off the Banished and getting people off of the Infinity. They themselves managed to escape the Infinity. Whether they've made it down to Zeta Halo, we have no idea. All we know is they got off of Infinity alive. But we have previously seen Fireteam Taurus in a previous novel, Halo Shadows of Reach. We didn't really get much information on them. They were just assisting, I think it was assisting Palmer getting nukes or something. So maybe we'll find out a few more details about them, or maybe they're just going to be a random throwaway. We'll find out. We also had a third fire team involved, which was Fireteam Windfall, which appears to be some kind of space combat unit, because they are the ones that are taking on the Banished, or at least trying to clear some of the space around the Infinity, whilst others are trying to evacuate. So whether that's their main function, or whether they have got other additional, just regular Spartan duties, I have no idea yet. All I know is that. I've also got some details that apparently Stone and Coven were on Anvil Station. They were the ones that tested, or at least one of them tested, the Hivemind class Mjolnir armor, which we see in Halo the Master Chief Collection as part of their Halo 3 armors that have been added to that game. Which is a very, very specific connection, which I kind of love. We also managed to get a bit more information about who exactly, or what exactly, was involved in the battle. Because all we saw in the game really was, the Infinity getting destroyed by Dreadnought. So we've also got that the Infinity also was using other frigates as a way of hopefully shielding itself, but they were getting utterly annihilated. As well as on a smaller level, they were also using longswords, broadswords, and pelicans as ways of just clearing out enemy fighters. And the fighters we were talking about here are Seraphs, Phantoms, and Grievers. Of course, I guess Phantoms you can't really call a fighter, but they can be used for multiple purposes other than dropships. Grievers is an interesting addition, because I remember they are covered in the Halo Encyclopedia. I don't think we've seen them in previous Halo entries. I could be wrong about that. I don't remember seeing them or hearing them or reading them, whatever. So I think this is their first proper introduction into the full, actual novel side of it, rather than just the encyclopedia. I will double check that one though. Yes, Murphy's lifeboat was hit. We're not sure what it was hit by. I'm assuming enemy fire, and it sort of spiraled out of control. The status of Murphy and all those aboard his lifeboat is currently unknown. Hopefully Murphy survived, because it's gonna kind of suck if they brought his character back just for this one chapter and then kill him off immediately. But they haven't said he's dead, so I'm hopeful that he is still alive. I hope he's alive. I really, really hope he's alive. Stone's lifeboat impacted the surface. Everyone on board survived, unlike in Halo Combat Evolved, where the Chief, just ping-ponged all over the damn thing and killed everyone. It's definitely canon. The power was knocked out on impact, though, so that's going to limit stuff a little bit. Like, we might have reduced radio communications, and it's nice to just have someone to have shelter, really, although a lifeboat probably isn't going to be that great of a shelter, because it's kind of more, escaping more so than living. So, we'll see how that impacts, if it does impact anything at all. Of course, Stone is a Spartan, so she does have armor, which she can just use to communicate with people anyway. And Marines might have their own personal radios as well. We're not sure about what their gear is specifically yet. But now, they're all on the ring, or that group is. They're sort of fanning out, trying to get a feel for the area. And their main priority now is just survival. Because they know the Banished are there, the Banished are on the ring, they are in enemy territory. As far as they're aware, Cortana's also around somewhere. They've got no idea why the Banished are there. They weren't expecting the Banished. They were maybe expecting Cortana's defenses, maybe some possibly Prometheans or Sentinels or whatever, but that's about it. And instead they got loads and loads of brutes, elites, hunters, and other crap. So, yeah, they said they haven't seen a battle like that since the final days of the Covenant War, which was interesting, at least from Stone's perspective anyway. I'm sure we know there has been other battles which rival those seen in the Covenant War. But, yeah, that is what we've got so far. I'm intrigued. So far, I like the characters. I really do like Stone. She seems pretty cool so far. She's also got a little bit of a sarcastic streak, which she's actively holding back on. But maybe we'll get some more of that as, I guess, they get whittled down as we go on. Hopefully we'll get some more information on some of the other characters. There's not too much I can really talk about other than that so far, because not a lot has really happened other than them going down to the surface. So I'm sure the next chapter will be a lot more involved, because it's going to be them going around the surface of the Halo, presumably. Or we might have a split novel where we have other chapters from the point of view of the enemy, because that's been done before in Halo novels, and I think it's really cool when they do that. I would really love to have a novel from the Banished perspective, as well as UNSC. So maybe we could have, I don't know, one of the Spartan Killers or something. I don't know. I could be completely off there, and we could just be doing a purely UNSC book. We'll find out. So hopefully you guys have liked this little summary catch-up kind of thing. Looking forward to getting to chapter 2. Obviously, please do not post spoilers down in the comments. I would really appreciate it if you did not. because I want to read these, going into these, just being able to theorize stuff. I don't really want to know what's going on until the end of the novel, then we can talk further about other stuff that's happened or any clarification that I might need or whatever. Yeah. So thank you very much for watching, guys. Hopefully I'll see you guys in the next one. I don't know when the next one's going to be. Hopefully I'm going to try and do these just as and when I can. So I'll see you in the next one. Until then, everybody, take care.